I am the big tank.
On the battlefield of life, nothing's harder than a tank. Yeah, have you ever met a man, hearts full of love, bigger than a tank?
Big tank.
He served in a few wars, he's a veteran that stands for a cause. For the best interviews and news, just keep it glued to the tank.
I am the tank. Big
Big
tank.
Tank Talk.
Tank.
Big Tank Talk.
Tank. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Big Tank Talk. Today, I'm introducing you guys to somebody that's an amazing person to me, and I think once you hear her do this question and answer segment with us, you're going to agree she is truly an amazing person. This is lovedbyjoseph76, but you'll hear me refer to her by Tanya the rest of the interview. Tanya, welcome to Big Tank Talk.
Thanks for having me. I feel honored.
Oh, the honor is mine. Believe me, I am thrilled that you agreed to be here and let me ask you questions. As you know, this interview is interactive, so you can expect questions from people viewing. Abdul, this is an interview show. I'm not bringing you up. If you want to stick around and ask questions or just watch, that's fine. First question is always the same, Tanya. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be on Clapper.
So, I am originally from Illinois, transplanted to Alabama 31 years ago, thanks to my mom having a job down here. And so I came to Clapper unexpectedly, let's just put it that way. But it became a blessing from a disaster. I don't do TikTok. I don't do any of that stuff. And I ended up gravitating towards Clapper.
Well, we are happy that you decided to join Clapper. It's where most of us prefer to stay with social media. Welcome in, Val, Ted, Missy Joe. I saw you guys come in. I'm glad you're here. Don't forget this is interactive. I expect help from you guys in asking questions. First question above the normal first one. Explain your creator name.
So, Loved by Joseph. Joseph is my husband. He was actually my best friend 25 years ago. We were united after 23 years, and we decided that we were going to get married. So we got married.
And do you have children?
I do. I have 3. I have 2 that are living, 2 girls, and then I have a son that passed away when he was 3 days old. He would have been 28 this year.
Well, I'm sorry for that loss. It's one of the worst things I can imagine, losing a child. I know my grandmother outlived 3 of her children, at least 3,
Yeah.
including, well, they were uncles to me. But anyway, what kind of work do you do?
So people say I'm a chef. However, I just cook for a living. I work at a convenience store, and I make all the breakfast at 3:30 every morning for everybody in our little town. Before that, I actually managed a restaurant here on the lake that I live on for 3 years until it got, unfortunately, closed down. And I also have my own catering business as well.
Very nice. Welcome in, Bugs. Welcome in, Cookie Not Hate, and Steve. And Steve, thank you for the gifts. It's very appreciated. Do you also, so do you enjoy cooking? I know you do it for a living.
Oh, I love cooking. Cooking food makes people come together. It brings people together. Even at the worst times in their lives, food still brings people together. And if I can make somebody smile through food, then I'm doing what God intended me to do.
Right on. I'll come back to cooking. First, I want to ask you, Paul says, who influences you most in your life?
So that would be my brother. My brother is about 7 years older than me, and he was born 4 months premature and had cerebral palsy. And doctors, of course, back then didn't. They gave him only months to live, then a couple years, and now he's 54, and he does more things on his own than most able-bodied people do. So
I can imagine that being inspirational to you, and he should be celebrated because anybody who's been given months and they've lived years and years, they're doing something right.
yeah.
Riley asked, and it was one of my questions, what's your favorite meal to cook?
So I love cooking Italian, anything Italian, or anything
Right.
down home country cooking.
What do you consider down home country for those that don't know what that means?
So like country fried steak, turnip greens, grits, gravy, stuff that put meat on your bones.
Riley, nothing to be sorry for. The fact that you asked a question I already had, I like the way you think. That I'm just giving you credit as well. Do you also enjoy baking?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I love to bake.
And
Love.
what's your favorite thing to bake?
Um, any kind of cake. If I haven't made a type of cake, I'm gonna try it. I just made a peanut butter cake for the first time for somebody, and they loved it. So
Well, that sounds good. I don't know that I've had a peanut butter cake, but it really does sound good. Vanilla ask, indica or sativa?
give me a hybrid.
That's a fair answer. Um, did you ever serve in the military?
I did not. Unfortunately, back when I was going to, they wanted me to give custody of my child to her father, and that was something that I would not do. So I chose to be a mom.
You chose your child over the military service. That's absolutely understandable. Uh, do you have like a family history of military service?
I
Just curious.
do. So my uncles and cousins, they have all been in the military. From one was in the Air Force, and another was in the Navy, and then I have a ex-father-in-law whom I love to death. Passed, God rest his soul. He was Navy and Army. So not only did he do the Navy, he also did Army. He re-enlisted into the Army. So
Outstanding. Shady Scrag, I see your hand up. I'm sure it was accidental. You know, this is an interview show. And the only people in the boxes for the interview are myself and my guest, Tanya. Shady asks, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
hopefully running my own restaurant. And I'm well on my way, hopefully. So
Now, if that becomes a reality, what kind of food will you feature in your restaurant?
so it'll be, since we're in the South, a lot of people like a meat and three. So would be a meat and three or an Italian restaurant, because where we're at, we don't have a lot of Italian to choose from. So that's one thing we're lacking. We got plenty of Mexican restaurants and plenty of barbecue restaurants.
Understand. Bugs wants to know what's your worst catering experience?
To be honest, I have not had a bad experience at all. And I have, so a lot of my catering is from repeat customers or repeat events. And I've really I've not had anybody give me a bad word or anything like that. And I've not made anybody sick. So that's even more of a blessing.
Always a positive. Um, Mike McGuire wants to know if you're going to name the restaurant anything specific or special.
So my catering business is called Made with Love. So I want to incorporate that within the restaurant. So probably Made with Love Country Cooking would be my.
Okay. Riley Rebecca wants to know what inspires you to keep cooking for others.
Like I said, cooking for others brings people together, even if I'm not there as a guest or what have you. It just making people happy is what I like. So I'm always trying to smile, have a good day, try to anyway.
Okay. Shady also wants to know. Shady Scrag asks, "What's your fear of the future? What do you fear about the future?"
What do I fear about the future? The violence that there is so much of with our young individuals in life. The lack of morals and dignity really brings fear to me.
Right. Okay. Ted wants to know who taught you to cook.
That would be cooking shows. I watch plenty of cooking shows because I love my mom. God rest her soul. I love you, Mama. She could not cook. When the microwave came out, everything went in the microwave.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cookie Nut Hey wants to know, what do you like least to make?
That would be chicken livers. That's disgusting.
I assume you don't like eating those either.
No.
That makes sense. Val wants to know, what's your favorite thing to do when you first get up in the morning?
Drink a cup of coffee. That is me because I'm up so early. I have to drink coffee, and then when I get to work, I'm drinking another cup of coffee.
Jay Marie, if you ask a question, I haven't seen it. The chat's going too fast for me to keep up, and guys, Lena and Paul, I'm doing my best to ask the pin questions as I see them, and I'm writing them down as fast as I can. Tanya, Steve wants to know, is it true that Ray makes the best pepper? And he said Val seasoned his dinner with a lot. Only his.
All I can say is be afraid. Be very, very afraid.
All right. Now, I have a question for you that I haven't asked anyone before. But what do you have in your home that is a good reflection of who you are?
That would be my crosses. I collect crosses. I may not go to church every Sunday, but I still believe wholeheartedly that if it weren't for God intervening in my life, I would not be where I'm at today.
I can't tell you specifically where I saw it in the Bible, but in the Bible it says we carry our church within us. So you don't have to be a churchgoer to be a believer in God. And I absolutely respect that answer. Shady Scrag asks, choose between three animals: elephant, tiger, or horse. And I'll add to that, why?
That would be an elephant.
Okay. Why elephant over the other two?
One, because I'm an Alabama fan. But they have a great memory. And
that's as good a reason as any I've heard.
Yeah. So
Riley Rebecca wants to know, do you have a favorite chef?
So I really, really like Gordon Ramsay. I don't know if it's his toughness or what have you, but like I'll watch MasterChef, and who knows, one day I might be on MasterChef. You never know. But there's so many that I like.
Welcome in Sylvia, and that's little lady _1 Tanya. If you don't know her, Sylvia is an amazing person, and Sylvia, it's good to see you. Tanya, what is something about you that would surprise people to learn?
So I have been on the other side of the law, unfortunately, but it's part of my testimony. I picked the wrong person to marry at one point in my life and got into some trouble. And I was trying to be the good wife. And so I took charges for him. And so I was in prison for about 11 months. But with that being said, it was probably the most defining part of my life because I had to do it all by myself with no help from the outside. And so that's when I became closer to God too.
That makes sense. Jay Marie wants to know if you ever watch retro cooking shows like The Galloping Gourmet.
Not The Galloping Gourmet, but Julia Child I have watched, and the Cajun cook Justin Wilson I've watched also.
I suspect you may have answered this question with your last answer about what people would be surprised to learn. But my question is, what time of your life did the most to shape the person you are now?
That is definitely the time, because I was able to go to school while I was there, so for auto mechanics, and then my credits transferred out, and for I ended up getting 2 degrees when I got out, because I didn't want to be a statistic. I didn't want people to think that that's who I was. So I was able to get 2 degrees.
Ted says, is it true that Alabama football is the best college team that money can buy? And then he said, go OSU for Ohio State.
Oh, yeah, well, don't be jealous. We got the good teams.
Well, Ohio State's undefeated this year, so.
Yeah. But when they got to play a SEC team, they clam up.
Paul wants to know what goes through your mind when you're asked to make a video by him or by Val.
You never know what we're gonna do. So I'm learning how to be more open-minded, let me say.
That helps, trust me. Mike McGifford asks, is Louisiana fare different to Alabama food?
To a point, yes, because Louisiana food is more of a Cajun style where they use the Creole, which I use a lot of Creole, and Alabama food is more comforting as far as, stick to your ribs. Not as much rice as you would in Louisiana, no gator, not a whole lot of gator in Alabama. So.
Hey, Shady Scrag asks, are you happy with what you achieved right now, or do you think you could do better?
Anytime I achieve anything in life I'm good with. Because where I was at years ago, I would have never thought that I'd be here. So.
Okay. What's the best job you've ever had?
Probably running the restaurant here on the lake, because I met a lot of individuals that are still, they consider me a friend now, that were customers, and it's just a tight-knit little community. So.
Yeah, makes sense. LD Sweets asks, if you could spend a week with anyone alive, who would it be and why?
That's a good question. Probably my brother, because I don't get to see him. He's up in Illinois and I'm down here, and I haven't seen him since 2007 when my mom passed away.
Understood. Welcome in Painted Memories, and that's Tina, for those of you that know. She's Tina's Corner, at which I'm assuming she'll go back to at some point. Riley says, with the path that you've walked, what advice would you give your 5-year-old self?
Don't rush marriage. Just saying, because I rushed it, and it wasn't for the right reasons. It is now, but it wasn't.
Right. So what in your life, up until this point at least, are you most proud of?
The fact that when I got out of prison, I was able to regain full custody of both of my children and raise them in the most tender years of their life, which would be their teenage years. So that in itself, because I was told that I would never have custody back because I had been to prison, and I told them to watch and see, and they learned that I'm a very strong-willed individual.
That makes sense. Shady, could you clarify that question? Her question, as it stands, is what are you going to bring in this new job or new place, which we are interviewing you for? we're not interviewing you for a job or a place, but I think maybe she's asking with the restaurant you'd like to own, what would you bring to that job?
Hard work, determination, and dedication. That's what I do in any aspect of my life now.
And there's absolutely no nothing can replace good hard work. And that's absolutely a wonderful thing to bring to any endeavor you take up. So I can respect that. So, of the places that you've been in your life, what is your favorite and why?
My favorite probably would have been when I was a child. Up in, we went to Watkins Glen, New York for an archery tournament that I was in, and that was the most beautiful spot ever. And then we ended up coming back down to Illinois and through Canada. Um, it's just beautiful country, beautiful, beautiful country.
Okay. Paul wants to know at what age did you start singing?
Uh, really, really young. I was in the choir in school, and and then my mom used to play the organ, so of course I would sing around there and sing in my bedroom. You know, I didn't start doing any kind of going out to places and singing until I was probably about 21.
Okay, that's fair. Val wants to know, how did you guys meet?
So me and Val, funny story. Me and Val met through Clapper because my ex, um, who was not my ex at the time, was actually talking to several women on Clapper. That is how I became familiar with Clapper. So, but again, it turned into a blessing.
Okay. Jay Marie asks, what is your least favorite holiday dish to make and not eat, but to make for others who enjoy the food?
Fruitcake. Fruitcake is disgusting, but I will make one if I have to.
I will say this: I made a fruitcake when I was in my 20s. That was not like your traditional fruitcake. It had more of a brownie texture some of the fruit and stuff in it. Had a much different taste, and you'd probably enjoy that one.
Yeah.
Having said that, let's move on. Mike McGifford asks, will the restaurant staff be family or friends, and are they lining up to support you?
It will be a combination of both. Yes. My daughter wants to help. My youngest daughter wants to help. If it ever comes to fruition, and then my roommate, he is willing to help, and my husband, and then I have several friends that are willing to work with me.
That's awesome. It's good to have support, especially when you're starting something. If especially if it's something you've never done. Paul wants to know what scares you more, being asked for a video or facing the wheel of doom?
Being asked for a video, I can sing a song, I can make it up. Videos, if you don't get it right, they're gonna be like, okay, I need another one. Try again.
This is a good question, and some of my questions are going to be Clapper specific, Tanya. Ted wants to know, you said Clapper has been a blessing. Can you explain why?
Because I have met some very genuine individuals that have helped me look at myself differently. Like, it's okay to get up there and sing a song that you may not know because
Right.
it's just for fun. And the group that I am involved with mainly, they accept me for who I am.
Absolutely. Steve, hold that question. I want to ask a few Clapper specific questions. And being relatively new to Clapper, what is your favorite thing about the app?
I would have to say the different videos that you can watch, who you follow. Um, there's inspiration, there's funny, there's sad. I
Right.
mean, it's
And If you could
basically
change,
everything.
if you had the power to make a change to Clapper, what change would you make?
Those stupid glitches.
Understandable. I'd get rid of
And
them.
all the people that come in your live that want to show you their junk.
Right.
Not everybody wants to see all that.
Okay. One last Clapper specific question, then I'll get to Steve's pen question. If you were advising somebody coming to Clapper brand new, what advice would you give them?
Give it a chance. It's got some properties like TikTok, like with the videos.
Right.
But I brought my husband over here. He doesn't get on very much. And then my cousin, she gets on a little bit. It's just, I mean, it's a bunch of, I have a TikTok account, but I don't use it.
Understandable. Clapper is better than TikTok. I love it for the community aspect that I haven't found anywhere else except for Clapper. But yeah, give it a chance would be an excellent advice. Now, Steve's question. If you had to hit a person in the face with a pie, what would you use? Apple, cherry, mincemeat, pumpkin?
I wouldn't waste good food. I would put shaving cream in it.
That's a good answer. I like that. Wow. J. Marie says, would you do a fans only foot with food fetish live with your husband?
No. No, I can't. Nobody touch my feet, including my husband. No, I don't touch people's feet, and they're not going to touch my feet.
I'll preface this question by letting you know, Painting Memories, Tina is a painter. She wants to know who your favorite Clapper artist, or who your favorite artist is. First question, who's your favorite artist?
As in painting?
Yeah, pretty much. She's a painter, so
Okay.
when she asks, that's usually what she's asking.
So I like Monet. I like his soft colors and his use, the being outdoors. A lot of their.
A good, thoughtful answer. She also wants to know, who are your favorite Clapper accounts? So your favorite Clapper creators, basically.
Of course, you Tank, because you do a lot of motivational that I'll see early in the morning when I'm checking it out, and then of course my group, my Shocker crew. They help make the transition a lot easier for people. And then of course we got Ronan and Follow American Truth. You know, it's the real folks that I like.
I appreciate that. Vanilla Gorilla wants to know, did you intentionally join the Shocker crew for therapy or for karaoke?
I joined the Shocker crew for therapy and karaoke because therapy is great. It makes me smile even on a bad day.
Welcome in, Vamp. I didn't even see you come in. She asked, what did you do to your arm?
Funny story. I was on my way to work Wednesday morning and nonchalantly walking down my steps, and then poof, there I went down 2 steps and ended up hurting my shoulder and getting bruised up. And yes, it's on video, and my Clapper family says I need to post it. So
I want to read this to you. Ronan says he's as real as a donut, and if you get that, then he loves you.
Oh, well, still love me because I don't know what you mean about donut.
Okay. Tina, Painted Memory, says this is the first time she's seen you. How would you describe your content?
Random, very random. I mean, I have singing, I have, cooking on there, I have my cat on there, even though Val doesn't like cats.
Right. Jay Marie asks, has cooking or singing ever sent you to the ER?
Cooking has. Yes, it has.
Okay, I know there's got to be a story there.
Yes. So, 2 years ago at the restaurant that I was managing, I had dropped a bag of queso, frozen queso, on my foot. Well, ended up having to go to the emergency room, and I still worked on crutches. And then that Monday, somebody was wiping down the counter, and I had hot water, grit water on the stove, and she knocked it off, and it went down me from head to toe. So
Oh
yes,
my.
I have been at the ER.
Okay. What is something about you that you feel most people misunderstand?
My quietness. I'm a very quiet individual. Um, and it's just because I observe more than I react, I guess you would say.
Right. Okay. Now, if you could talk with anyone from present day back through history, living or dead, who would you choose to talk with and why?
Um, Probably the the Tudors, which is from back in, before Christianity and all that became.
Right.
Because I just am fascinated with that time period. Um,
Yeah. Henry VIII was a Tudor, wasn't
yes.
he? Okay. Paul wants to know if you could cook for us, if you could cook for a celebrity, alive or dead, who would it be and what would you cook?
Wow. Hmm. Um.
Very good question, Paul.
Yeah. Probably. Um. Probably Gordon Ramsay, just so he could cuss me if it wasn't done right. And it would probably be a filet mignon, a bacon wrap filet mignon.
You could always cook that for me, just so you know. Um, okay, here you go. If you're asked to do something you've never done before, how do you approach that task?
um. So I have been approached to do things I've never done. I mean, here I am making videos with people. So I just go with the flow. I am that person. I just go with the flow. And it's
Right.
not anything you can prepare for, just like these questions. I was not expecting some of these questions.
I hope at this point, since we're halfway through this interview, I hope you're more relaxed now than you were at the beginning.
I am. I am.
Vanilla Gorilla says, "Do you enjoy conspiracy theories, and which one is your favorite?"
No, I do not. Only because it will make my mind race and I will be thinking now, like the JFK conspiracy theory, or the Elvis. Some people say Elvis is not dead. Some people say he is dead. I'm just going with what everybody else is. If he's dead, let him rest.
So fair to say you don't like going down those rabbit holes.
No.
Okay. Ted says, "Has the intensive therapy you received from the Shaka Crew helped?"
Absolutely. I'm as crazy as the rest of them.
And I want to comment on something Ronan said. Ronan, I am looking forward to the day that you make chicken marsala for me. I can't wait. I mean that. Um, this is this is one of my favorite questions I came up with while I was researching you to come up with questions. What is your most annoying, your most aggravating pet peeve, and why?
People that smack food when they chew. I cannot stand that. And I love my husband, but he's world's worst.
I understand that can be quite annoying. And I grew up in a house where not chewing with my mouth closed could get me smacked in the mouth. Um,
Absolutely.
that's a lesson you learn really quick and pretty young. And yes, that's one of my pet peeves as well. So I appreciate that. Um, This is similar to the question. Similar to the question. A couple of questions you've already answered. But what would you say has been the greatest challenge in your life?
Burying my son. That was probably the biggest challenge because I was extremely mad at God and for a long time, and it took a long time for me to get over it. Not over it, but work through it.
Right.
Um,
What's been the biggest help in working through that? Because I can't. I've got children. I've got two grown children, and Lizzie's 12, so I can't imagine losing a child. That had to be really difficult.
so my daughters um, helped me through it because for a good 2 weeks I didn't come out of my room. I didn't do anything, and then I realized, hey, you've got two other little babies that have need you, and so they helped me, and they still help me every year when the time around comes. They help me.
Sounds like they were, and continue to be a blessing in your life.
Oh
And I'm
yeah.
thankful that you have them and that they helped you get through that.
Oh yeah.
Uh, Again, like I said, I can't imagine having that kind of a loss. And uh, yeah, definitely sorry for that loss. Um, Lena, LD Sweets wants to know, how would you take it if someone went into your kitchen while you were cooking and began micromanaging you?
They know better. They don't come in my kitchen and micromanage. They ask, hey, can we help you with something? And I
So
usually say no.
safe to say, if that happened, you'd run them out of your kitchen.
Yes. If I want them to taste something, then they're more than welcome to come in and taste it.
I love this question. Vanilla Gorilla asked, "Do you mind people eating off the pot while you're cooking, or do they get the spoon?"
Oh no, they get the spoon. I don't know where your mouth been.
Lena LD Sweet says there's an invisible line they cannot cross, and in the kitchen, she agrees with you on that. Mike McGifford says, "Have you had anyone who ordered a big meal and only picked at it?
No, no,
Would it
I,
bother you if they did, though?"
no. It's not. Not all food is for everybody. Everybody
Right.
has their own individuality and their own tastes. So, I mean, if they get one thing and they don't get another thing, then to each his own.
Tina, I love this question. She wants to know if you've ever entered a cooking competition.
I have not. I want
Would,
to, but I haven't yet.
would you prefer to enter a cooking competition or a baking competition?
Cooking, because baking, you have to be more precise. Cooking, I don't use a lot of measurements with.
Right.
If it looks good, smells good, then we're all good.
Mike McGifford also, he says, "How about customers who add salt before tasting something you prepared?"
So I let everybody know, even where I work at full time, I salt and pepper while I cook. That way they know not to add salt until they taste it, because it's not
Right.
my fault if it becomes too salty.
Bet you I am, Beck. Welcome in. I'm going to preface this question by letting you know she didn't. She said her mom couldn't cook worth a lick, but I'll read the question as it is, but we're letting her know memories of your mom cooking didn't really factor in. She says, "What are your earliest memories of falling in love with cooking?" And then she said, "Memories of your mom cooking."
So home ec is probably when I started to fall in love with cooking, when we got to cook stuff. And that was seventh grade.
That's about right. Yeah. I think I took home economics in eighth grade at a time when boys didn't take home economics. So,
Yeah.
but I was learning it at home from my mother anyway. So taking it in school didn't seem to be that big a stretch for me. Um, this is similar to a question that Riley asked you. My question: if you could talk to your younger self, what advice would you give to your 18-year-old self?
Listen to your mother. Because, when you're 18, you're like, mom don't know anything. If I would have listened to my mom, things probably would have worked out a lot differently than they did in my younger years.
Is your mom still with us?
Unfortunately, no. She passed away in 2007 at the young age of 59.
I don't assume anything. My mother's still alive. She'll be 81 next month.
Yeah.
No, in January, not next month, in January. Um, but I asked because she was recently diagnosed with cancer. So
yeah, my mom actually fought throat cancer and beat it, but then she ended up passing away from complications of diabetes.
Ted, I have a question very similar to that, which I was getting ready to ask anyway. I will add a preface to it though. If cost was no issue, is there a place you would love to visit and why?
Scotland has always been on my bucket list.
Even before meeting Val?
Yes, it's been on my bucket list since I at least was 20 years old, because when I went to get my GED, I had a teacher that was doing the class, and she was from Scotland, and watching all the period time movies, just the castles and the green fields and the history behind everything.
Absolutely. Mike McGifford says, "Do you live in a big city or more rural?" And he says he means with less crime and stuff.
Yes, I live in a very, very small place that people don't know my town. I have to give them the next town over, and then they know where I'm at. It's a very tight knit, close. Not a lot of drama goes on around here. So
There is nothing like to me, living in a small town. People look after each other. People are generally kind to each other. Generally,
yeah,
I love small town living. Um, Mike also wants to know if you've ever been out of the country.
just to Canada, since that is another country, it counts.
Yeah, it
And
does
we were
count.
just passing through.
Vam has asked, "Have you ever seen the series Outlander?"
I started watching that about a month ago, so I've been watching that.
Gina asked, "Do you have a secret chili recipe?"
Uh, no, my chili turns out different every time because I never write recipes down. It is so hard for me to give a recipe.
Let me ask you it this way: Have you ever made chili with venison in it?
Yes, that is probably some of the best kind of chili.
Oh, I can't disagree with that. I love venison chili. Uh, LD Sweet says, if you could cook or study cooking under someone, what country would you do it? Would you learn under?
Um, Probably Greece.
And Lena, if I massacred your question, I apologize. Chad asks, have you ever slaughtered an animal, and what type of meat is your favorite? I got
Funny
those two
story.
questions.
I used to run a deer processing facility, and so I have actually been able to skin a deer and gut a deer, and I like deer meat.
Yeah,
But chicken is my favorite. Just saying.
I will. I will say, deer can be cooked badly and taste horrible. So when you have somebody, you need to know what you're doing when you cook venison to make it taste really good.
Yeah.
And I've had like Tabby can cook deer very well, but I've had people that should never touch it. I just
I,
put it that way.
me
Um,
too, my cousin. And I love her to death, but yeah, no.
so bet you I am back, which is Becky says, as you get older, what is one thing you wish you could help bring change to in the world?
Teaching these kids the same morals that we were raised with. Um, you know, back then and the day we didn't have to, we knew we had to be home when the street light came on, and we weren't stuck in video games and all of that.
Right. I would put that another way. I would bring back respect,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
like we grew up with. Those of us who are, on the other side of 50 now, the respect we grew up with is hard to find anymore.
Yeah.
And Sylvia, you're right. That's the issue with it, is it's not being taught at home. So when those children are grown, they're going out into the world not having a clue how to show proper respect to people. So yeah, that does start at home. Ted says, after you fall this week, have you learned to watch where you're going?
I was watching where I was going. It's not my fault we had some algae on the steps. I lost my whole cup of coffee.
Paul, I love this question. He wants to know, what do you think of woke people in the world, and what lesson do you think they need to be taught?
Woke people need to go back to sleep. People need to stop being so butthurt about the simplest of things. Don't make it about yourself. Woke people are very selfish individuals, in my opinion.
I can't disagree with that. I really have an issue with woke people, and I tend to avoid them if I'm able to.
Just cigarettes, baby. Sorry, my husband asked me a question.
Oh, you should have joined us and asked it out loud.
He wanted to know if I wanted anything from the store.
I was just kidding. Now, back to I am back says, turn off the news and get back to loving your neighbor regardless of differences. I would even put it this way, Becky. If everybody was the same, this world would be so boring.
Yeah.
Embrace the differences. People are, differences is what makes life interesting. Um, because somebody doesn't believe everything exactly the way I do, doesn't make me right all the time. It doesn't make them right all the time. That's why I say embrace the differences and learn about compromise.
Yeah, I can say I raised my daughters like my mom raised me, and I'm thankful that my daughters are raising their children like I raised them. It's yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. You ask, you don't just take,
Right.
I'm a boy, she's a girl kind of thing,
It's not huge things, but they do make such a difference.
Yeah.
And if you start teaching kids that when they're young, uh, like really young, before school age, they just take to it so quickly.
Yeah.
And then they grow up, and it just becomes part of who they are. It would make a huge difference.
Like my grandson this past weekend, he didn't like some cornbread dressing that his mom put on his plate, and he didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, so he whispered in his mom's ear saying, "Hey, I don't like this." She's like, "Well, that's okay. We'll take it to your daddy." So
Yeah, what I would like, my daughter's stepdaughter was here yesterday. She's 6, and she said she doesn't like turkey. So she was given a small piece of white meat, small piece of dark meat, and asked just to try it. You don't have to eat it all, but you got to. I mean, my grandmother was one. If she didn't like the way something looked, she would tell you she doesn't like it, but would never try it.
right.
And I learned my lesson from that was I don't care if I like the way something looks or not. If I've never tried it, I will try it before I decide if I like it or not.
Yeah. That's how it was when I had to try beef liver when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Haven't eaten it since.
I haven't eaten it. I had to eat it when I was a kid, but once I turned 18 and could decide what I eat, I've never eaten liver again.
Yeah.
Paul wants to know, what do you like most about Christmas?
Paul wants to know. It's the day before. Oh wait, no, that's right. It's December Eve. Um, uh, I like the lights, and I love the closeness of family and seeing people be happy and merry on it, and you know, watching Christmas movies. The How the Grinch Stole Christmas is probably one of my favorite movies. So
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the traditional Christmas movies, like It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street. Um, there's a movie made in '77, starred Ed Asner and Maureen Stapleton, called The Gathering. If you've never seen it, look it up. It's
okay.
a phenomenal movie. Um, my favorite thing about Christmas, I just want to add this in, is especially the closer you get to the actual Christmas day, um, people behave more like we should all year long.
Yeah,
Mike McGifford wants to know, have you ever cooked sweetbreads?
I have not.
Would you?
Yeah, I'll try any to cook something anytime or bake
No.
something at least once.
All right, Bugs, I will get to your question momentarily. If you don't mind, Tanya, I want to take a moment now and announce that next week, 3 o'clock Central Standard Time, my guest will be Bree Talks. She's a truly phenomenal person. She's involved in some really good stuff that I fully support. She's an amazing person. And guys, if you can be here for that interview, I encourage you to. Also, we'll be bringing back Iron Man Mike on December the 14th for a follow-up interview, since we didn't get to nearly, maybe we got half of questions asked that I had. Forget other people having questions. So he's coming back for a follow-up interview. Now, Bugs wants to know, when you do get to go to Scotland, are you going to try haggis and blood pudding?
Well, I know what haggis is, but I don't know what blood pudding is. Um, I will try haggis, but I don't know about blood pudding.
Val says black pudding, for fuck's sake.
What's black pudding? Oh, they call it blood
And then
sausage.
Ted says blood sausage. Um,
I don't know.
Haggis, I tell you what, the way the description of what haggis is doesn't make me want to try it. But because I never have, I would certainly try it before deciding whether I like it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, the haggis that they have here is no, definitely not.
Now, you said I have to know because I am part Italian. You said you love cooking Italian food. What's your favorite Italian dish to cook?
So I would have to say stuffed manicotti.
And do you do your own sauce, or do you use
Yeah,
prepared sauce?
no, I use my own sauce. I tomatoes all the way down to the other day I had to do something for a catering, and it was the Tuscan chicken, and I did popped the tomatoes in the sauce and all that. So yeah, no.
Also, do you enjoy cooking with garlic?
Oh
That's
yes,
another
garlic is a
another thing.
staple in this house. I
That's
would
another thing.
I'll cook with garlic and not salt.
Right, being Italian, it's almost like if it doesn't say add garlic, you still add a little bit at least.
Yeah. I mean, there's garlic in almost any of my dishes. Garlic is great.
Okay. Um, for the questions you've had, what I got to ask, because you were pretty nervous coming into this interview. What made you so nervous about being here for this interview?
Just talking about me,
You've
that
done,
just makes me nervous. I'm
you've
not a
done a
public
fabulous job.
speaker.
You've done a fabulous job. You answered questions. You elaborated where it was appropriate. You've done very well with this interview.
Well, thank you.
Now, having said that, if I invited you back again, would you be willing to be interviewed again?
Absolutely.
Okay. Paul asked, "What is your favorite season?"
Spring, because that's when I was born, in the spring, and it's just right. I don't like fall. Well, I mean, I like fall, but I don't because all the leaves and all the rain. But yeah, spring is probably my favorite.
Cookie said, "Fall" with a question mark.
As
That would
in,
be autumn, Cookie. If you're
see,
not sure.
In Alabama, we get all 4 seasons in one day.
Yeah. Well, it can happen. It happens in Missouri from time to time as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, Cookie, she meant autumn. It's not. It's an American thing, I guess,
Yeah.
calling it fall, summer, fall, winter, spring.
Yeah.
But all right. Unless someone else has a question, my question. I've asked all the questions I had prepared. You did very well with that.
Thank you.
And uh, unless somebody gets a question before I finish this comment, um, I end every interview now with giving my guest an opportunity to do a shout out. The shout out can be for what or who they choose. Um, but this is your opportunity to do that now.
So I shout out to my daughters and my grandbabies. I have 3, and to all of my shocker crew friends, making it a little bit easier down here, and to everybody, just just live life and have fun with it. Don't be so serious all the time.
Now, for those of you that this is your first introduction to Tanya, I preface this interview by saying that she's a phenomenal person, and I stand by that. Uh, if you haven't followed her before now, give her a follow, and then get the time and get to know her. She's really an amazing person. She's very down to earth. You've seen that beautiful smile throughout this interview. She's a pretty fabulous person. I do want to shout out the Moist Reaper, Paul. He is my partner in crime in this. He does the screen recordings every week, except for when he is the guest. And he makes it possible for me to post these interviews on YouTube the following Wednesday every week. I also want to shout out my mods, and you've known them. You see them with the mod designation behind their name. That's Ronan, that's Paul, that's Lena. I do have a great group of mods. They keep things going. They keep the questions pinned for me, so I don't have to try to keep up with that. And they do a phenomenal job. And yes, Val, that does include you.
Yes.
I want to thank everybody for being here to help ask the questions. You know, these interviews are always interactive, and it's the questions that I get from my friends that come in, whether they're coming in to support me or they're coming in to support my guests. It's appreciated by everybody involved, and I couldn't do this without you guys. It couldn't be as fun and the success it is without you guys every week, and I do appreciate it. And having said that, Tanya, it's been wonderful having you as a guest. Mike wants to know if you had a question for me. I'll ask you that. Do you have a question for me?
No, honestly, I don't. Well, so you've been on Clapper since probably the beginning, I'm assuming.
Pretty close to it, yes.
How did you get over the fear of creating content? Because I think that's where I have the issue is,
I like the question. I will say this: there's never been a fear of creating content. My issue early on was knowing what to make as content, and I give credit to Mando One, above and beyond everyone else. It did help me because she's the one that just got it into my head that anything can be content. And it doesn't matter if you go outside and do a scan of your yard, whether you say anything or not, that's content. As long make it at least 6 seconds long. And I would say 7 to 10 seconds. If most of your content is 7 to 10 seconds, that's long enough to hold most people's attention. If it gets longer than that, you're going to lose people because most people don't stay that long. They watch a few seconds and they move to the next one. If you've seen enough of my content, most of my videos are pretty short.
Right.
Most of them are under 10 seconds long. That's why.
That's good advice.
But that's the best thing to remember. That it doesn't have to be earth-shattering, important. It doesn't have to be relevant to anybody, not even to you. I've seen people do a video of their foot and post it and get views on it. That's the thing. Not only did you post that, you can post anything silly or whatever. Just be, do what makes you happy.
Okay.
I got stuff. I do shots in my yard. I got videos of my dogs. You've seen videos with my granddaughter. Videos with my kids. Whatever makes you happy, that's what you post for content. It doesn't have to mean anything to anybody but you. But as you grow here on Clapper, your videos will get more views. But those of us who are your friends now, we're here for it. Whatever you post, I'm definitely going to watch it. I'm going to comment on it. I'm going to like it. And if I'm so inspired, I'll share it or clap it back.
Yeah, I still have to learn how to do the clap back, so I'm working on that with y'all. So
yeah, Clapper tends to like videos with you in them. Not everybody does that. As you see, Rooster, who is the box office, says he doesn't do videos with himself in them. Although you may hear his voice, he'll do videos with his voice in it. But Rooster's been here about as long as I have, if not longer. He's one of my longest friends on Clapper. He's a great guy. This is not his original account, but he's just as good a guy as any I've met. So is this old man. That's Leo. And Leo is our UFO expert here on Clapper. If you ever have questions about that stuff, that's definitely the man you want to talk to.
Okay.
Guys, it's been a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys being here to support not just me, but to support Tanya. I hope you guys that don't know her will go watch her content, give her a follow, and reach out. There's some really phenomenal people on this app, and Tanya, I'm glad you're here.
Well, thank you so much.
And thank you for being my guest.
It's been great.
And with that, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.
Bye, everyone.